This video lecture has been produced using artificial intelligence with the supervision of Belhaven faculty.
Welcome. Today, we're going to take a close look at what's known as the working stage in group counseling. We'll start by defining what this stage actually is, then we'll see how it looks in practice, break down the core tasks and goals, explore the dynamics at play, and finally, we'll discuss the crucial ethical principles that guide this entire process.
Okay, so let's start by laying the groundwork for our discussion, beginning with the key learning objectives for this session.
By the end of our time together, you should be able to do three main things. First, clearly explain the tasks and goals that characterize the working stage. Second, you'll be able to analyze the interaction between group members and the leader's interventions. And third, you'll be able to articulate how ethical and cultural considerations are integrated into practice.
So, what exactly is the working stage? You can think of it as the point where a group really hits its stride. This is the phase where the true therapeutic potential starts to be realized. Members engage in deep, meaningful exploration, and as they do, the group becomes much more cohesive. The group leader's role here is absolutely vital, not to direct, but to facilitate and guide this process.
Understanding the definition is one thing, but what does this actually look like in a real group? To bring this to life, let's walk through a brief case illustration.
Imagine a group for young adults who are all dealing with social anxiety. In one session, a member takes a risk and shares a very specific fear, being terrified of speaking up in class. This single moment of vulnerability really opens the door for the therapeutic work to begin.
Now, this is where we see the working stage in action. Another group member, not the leader, offers a gentle yet direct observation. It's a form of constructive confrontation. This kind of peer interaction is an incredibly powerful mechanism for insight and for growth, and it's a hallmark of a group that has reached this productive phase.
Of course, a moment like that doesn't just happen by accident. It's possible because the group has already established clear goals, like increasing confidence and building connections, and really important norms, things like confidentiality, respect, and an agreement that constructive confrontation is actually welcomed, create the safety needed for members to take these kinds of risks.
Now that we have a practical example in mind, let's deconstruct the specific elements that actually make up the work of the group during this stage.
It's helpful to separate the immediate tasks from the overarching goals. On one hand, you have the member tasks. These are the active, in-the-moment things they're doing, like exploring feelings, practicing new skills, and giving and receiving feedback. On the other hand, you have the member goals. These are the long-term outcomes that the tasks are designed to achieve, such as greater self-awareness, new coping strategies, and ultimately, a move toward greater autonomy.
Movement toward these goals is really driven by the dynamic interplay between how the group members interact and the specific targeted interventions of the leader. As cohesion strengthens, the interactions within the group naturally deepen. You'll see more honest dialogue, more risk-taking, and feedback becomes a primary tool for growth. The leader's role here is multifaceted. They facilitate that constructive confrontation we saw earlier, they model authenticity and empathy, and they use techniques tailored to what's happening. And perhaps most importantly, they maintain a delicate balance between challenging the members and providing the support they need to continue their work.
Underpinning all of these dynamics, of course, are the essential ethical and cultural principles that have to guide every aspect of the leader's practice. From an ethical standpoint, vigilance is constant. Maintaining confidentiality and respecting the autonomy and dignity of each member is paramount. The same deep consideration must be given to cultural factors. This means adapting techniques to be appropriate for diverse cultural context, encouraging the exploration of identity, and being acutely aware of the risk of imposing one's own personal values onto the group. So, to bring this all together, the working stage is fundamentally integrative in nature. An effective leader doesn't rigidly adhere to a single theory. Instead, they flexibly draw from multiple approaches, perhaps using cognitive behavioral techniques alongside person-centered principles. This integration is what allows for true responsiveness to the group, and it's always grounded in cultural competence and ethical sensitivity. This concludes our lecture on the working stage of group counseling. Thank you.